Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Breakpoint Booking Now. This is our 14th episode. My name's Jordan. I'll be your host today. I'm a talent agent at Breakpoint Booking, where we represent a lot of breaking and developing talent, as well as having a roster of well-known talent that you guys probably recognize. And you can check out more at www.breakpointbooking.com. Today I have a very super talented, very beautiful, very inspiring young artist by the name of Taylor Gray. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and introduce her.
Hi.
Hey Taylor, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Nice to meet you. I'm Jordan.
Taylor, nice to meet you too. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice to finally put a live face, because I'll have meetings with your management team every week, and a great group of girls there, always trying to discover new ways on how to expand your outreach and things of that nature. So how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just living at home. How about you?
I'm good. I just moved out of LA to Denver.
Okay.
Just
Nice.
made like a slight transition, but
Why
it's
not?
beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful out here. It's the environment and having the outdoors to be able to do all the activities that I like is pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, just to kind of take a break from all the hecticness in Hollywood and LA right now. There's a lot of people.
Very cool.
So let's talk about you. How'd you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. My name's Taylor. I am a singer-songwriter. Kind of alt pop music is my genre. I've been doing this for a little bit. Been writing songs for basically my entire life. At the same time, I'm still a college student. So that's been really exciting and challenging to balance touring and finals. Yeah, that's basically it. School and music. That's me.
I mean, those are two wonderful things to have experience in, and that's amazing that you're able to juggle both activities, how's that like? Do you find yourself touring at times where you're on break, or how does that work? Do you have to literally go online and take tests like on a tour bus, or?
Yeah. So this is actually my last quarter. So I'm graduating in November, which
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a long time coming. But yeah, I started out only doing shows during breaks. And then when I was getting more opportunities that I felt like, Taylor, you cannot pass this up. Like, this is such a great opportunity. You just need to go for it. I would just kind of pack up and leave school for like a month at a time. My favorite story is like, oh my God, it's a year ago this month.
Crazy.
I was on tour in Europe with Why Don't We? And I had this class that took attendance by like a pop quiz. And the class was at 10:30 a.m. So it was 7:30 our time, which was usually, as an opener, my set was around like 7:30, 8 p.m. And it worked out most of the time. I would just go in. There was one time when I was going to be on stage and I needed to take this test. And I begged my tour manager. I was like, Sunny, please, can you just take this quiz for me? Like, it's just for attendance. It doesn't mean you don't have to get right. Just press some random buttons, turn it in. That's all. She's like, yeah, got it. No worries. I come back. She's like on the phone with her friend. This is like a psycholinguistics class, like very niche area, right?
Like,
my friend totally knows psycholinguistics. On the phone with her, she gave me the answers. I think I'm pretty sure I cheated right now. I mean, that was definitely cheating. But that was probably like, I was like, Sunny, you did not have to do that. I swear to God, it was just for attendance. But yeah, that was the one time where things were getting a little hectic.
That's incredible. It sounds like you got your priorities straight, though. Like, you're not putting that on the back burner. Did you ace the test having that professional?
To be honest, I have no idea. I don't even think they released the grades. It was just like, check, you did it, or minus, you didn't.
Cool,
so,
yeah.
Totally forget.
A for completion. Well, cool. Hopefully your professor doesn't get access to this video.
Right? It's like in a year, I already passed the class. It's fine.
So how did you get into music?
Yeah. I feel like I've always, kind of like most people, I've always had music on around the house. I really started with musical theater when I was in like second grade, I think, because I apparently was really shy, and my parents wanted me to be like more comfortable in the classroom, right? So they're like, okay, let's put her on stage. If she can like be on stage in front of a bunch of people, she can probably raise her hand in class. So that it was totally more for like a confidence thing rather than like they thought I wanted to do it. So it put me in musical theater. Turns out I loved it. Yeah, so I just started with that and then started writing songs apparently in third grade. I was just going through some old keepsakes and I found my first song that I wrote in third grade.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I actually started in like middle school.
That's incredible. So you said you found that song that you wrote. Is that a song that's out now? Probably
No,
not.
it honestly could be. Truth be told, I was kind of a feminist icon back then. I think the big lyric was the silly boys with their silly faces off to their silly races. I was like, come on, T, like, nice. I should release that now. Like, that's a fire lyric.
That should probably be your next song.
I think so.
I mean, that's something that, I feel like could be produced. That's for sure.
For sure.
Now, Complicated was your latest single that came out. I don't know. This is actually, I'll be honest, this is my first time kind of interviewing with Breakpoint Now.
Oh, awesome.
So bear with me. But I had Poison Plan. I really like that song a lot. But I know Complicated was your latest single to come out. You want to talk about what that track's about and how that transpired?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, by the way. Poison is probably one of my top favorites as well. Yeah. But yeah, that song, it was super cool. I wrote that with Ahmad Royale, who is like the coolest person and artist. I've worked with him for a couple years now. But I mean, like, he's just doing the coolest things. He did Boss by Doja Cat. Like, he's so cool and like such a breaking producer. So it's awesome to get to work with him on that and release a song. And basically the song is kind of about, I was thinking, you know, how everyone's like, oh, let's not jump into a relationship. I don't want to make things complicated. That's kind of like a generic line that gets thrown around a lot. I was like, what if I flip that on its head and be like, no, like, let's make it complicated. Like, why not?
Yeah.
So that was kind of the inspiration for the track. And yeah, it was just super awesome to work with him and create something different for me.
Awesome. That sounds really cool. I mean, that's a status that I think everyone wishes was on all social platforms. You know what I'm saying? You go on Facebook, or I guess you don't really post your relationship status on Instagram, but things of that nature, it's complicated, right? For everyone who's watching right now or who's going to have access to this video, go check out more Taylor's music. We have a little kind of ticker banner here where they can find your Instagram, your Twitter and Facebook account, as well as your website, Taylor Gray Music. So what's as far as music goes right now, do you have anything that you've been working on? Any people that you're collabing with, singing, or any kind of songwriting?
Honestly, quarantine has just hit my creativity like a ton of bricks. It's just been, I think a lot of other people and artists that I've talked to kind of are in the same place where it's like, it's really hard to get inspiration when you're in one place or in one mood for a long period of time.
Absolutely.
But it's been nice to have kind of like no pressure writing, just kind of writing songs to write songs again, kind of like I did in high school. I mean, I'm back living with my parents now, so it's kind of like exactly like high school. Yeah, it's been kind of fun to have that new vibe.
Well, maybe once you kind of start back up and get the gears turning again, you'll have some reminiscent experiences of what you went through in high school. And come on, things that we all went through in high school, those are perfect song topics, you know what I mean? And different concepts you can get.
No, high school is an endless fountain of inspiration for good and mostly bad.
Right. Yeah. And I definitely feel you on feeling a little more uninspired these days. COVID has just been a setback to so many things. How have you been dealing with that, just in general, not even speaking music wise?
Ooh, I've just been watching a lot of TV and staying in bed way too much.
Nice.
Got it. I mean, I'm lucky. I'm lucky for many reasons. Luckily, I'm healthy and my family is healthy. But also, I'm grateful to still be in school, so I have something to like focus my energy on. Because during summer break, there were days where it was just like there's nothing on, there's no TV to watch anymore. I've watched it all. Like I watched all of it. What else do I do? Basically,
Right. Rewatch it again.
that is
Yeah.
what I'm doing right now. I'm rewatching shows. It's gotten to that point.
How has the online learning treated you? Because I just graduated a couple years ago, and I've just this whole time been thinking to myself, like, I don't think I'd be able to have the self autonomy to like just get things completed on my own as far as that goes. I have two younger brothers in like elementary and middle school, and I'm just like, man, this whole form of education is just tough.
Yeah. Honestly, I can't imagine what it's like for younger kids where school is so much about like in-person learning. Like that's painful. Yeah, online learning for me, it's just like, ugh, do I have to? Kind of like I'm so behind on online lectures. Like they record them. I'm like, oh, I'll watch it tomorrow. I'll watch it tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow.
Just putting it off.
Yeah, I keep putting stuff off, but at the same time, I'm like, let's just power through. You're almost done. I'm like, I just spinning things positive. Like, this is the last time, probably ever, that you're going to be stressed about school. Because I think I'm done after this. I don't know if I'm going to grad school. Probably not. So I'm like, this is the last time that you're ever going to be worried about your grades. Like, enjoy this moment. Enjoy this pain.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, it's tough. So you said you're about to graduate. Do you have any inkling on what the next plan is?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I want to just pour 110% into music. And just, because I've been working on this. I've been working on music a lot throughout my entire college career. I mean, my entire college career, I was touring. And it was always like kind of this balance where I'm like, yes, I'm putting my all into music, but there's always still that school in the back of my mind that I focus and I care about. And with school, you see more like immediate validation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like turn it in a week later, you get a grade, and then you're like, okay, I worked hard. I got this. Like I can see where my effort is coming in. And music, it's definitely more of a long haul, especially when you're not doing it full time. So I'm excited that I've been able to like build this foundation. And I'm excited to see what happens when I'm able to put my entire being into music and just dedicate myself to that. So yeah, I want to see where that goes for at least a little bit.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to that. I'm sure like as soon as you get school out of the way, it'll just be like a weight lifted off your shoulders. You know what I'm saying? You'll have your degree. That's yours. No one can take that away from you. And you worked hard for it. You know what I mean? And then you can hit the ground running hard with the music, and you majoring in
psych, concentration, and neuro.
There you go. You can dissect the brain and really, get in tune with some emotions and kind of translate that into your music writing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you mentioned touring pretty much your whole collegiate, career. So can you tell me which tour was your favorite?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any favorites. I think because they all were so meaningful in one way or another. I can definitely say the most kind of surreal moments were touring with Why Don't We last year. Like kind of just like so surreal. Because it's always a gamble, right? Like as a female coming in, and I open mainly for like male groups, and it's always nerve-wracking as a female coming in. You're like, okay, first of all, people aren't here to see you off the bat, so that's already in the back of my head. Two, they're here to see like their idols who are boys. Like, do they want to see like me, right? Like I'm always very cognizant of that, and like trying to make sure that I kind of like, I don't know, I want people to like me. So I get anxious about that. And I was nervous because this was probably the biggest band that I'd opened for. And I was blown away, like seriously blown away by the amount of support that their fans gave me. Like it was just the most surreal, like they're just like the nicest people ever. So it was so awesome. Like people kind of rallied around like, hey, Taylor's opening, let's learn her songs, like let's hype her up. When I toured over the US with them, which was insane. Then I went to Europe with them, which was super insane. I had never toured internationally, and that was equally as just amazing. And then I went to Australia and New Zealand with them, and just everywhere I went, I felt so welcome. And I think as an opener, that's just probably the most special feeling. And not just by the fans, by the boys themselves, right? Like you're always anxious as a new person coming into the dynamic. You're like, how am I going to fit in? And they really just welcomed me in like a family. And that was such a special dynamic, such a special team. I love working with them, with their team. I love, pretty much everything that they're doing. It was so special. And now I've met some like really awesome people through their music. And now I've connected with them, and now like they're a fan. Like we talk on a daily basis now. So that's super awesome and rad that I got that experience.
Yeah, that's a
special,
super cool experience. I mean, just from watching, like I've seen the video clips and just reading like feedback until you probably established like real fans, you know, just the way you sing and perform and put on a show, you know, why wouldn't they love you coming out to open up for different acts? And one of the things I like about my job is that, you know, I get to discover new talent, like such as yourself. And then through you, I've also kind of found out about the Vamps, Why Don't We, the Hugh Hope Club. And I mean, that's awesome. I really can't wait for live music to really get back in the swing of things. I'm sure, you know, like there's drive-ins and different, you know, virtual concerts being put on where there's like no one out there, which is still cool, you know what I mean? But it's like that fan engagement, and I'm sure walking out on stage, like that's super hype. Would you consider doing any kind of virtual show or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have, like there are people like Billie Eilish and Miley Cyrus who are like nailing the virtual stuff, right? Like they have the full setup, like that, like it just looks awesome. I mean, if someone wants to invite me to a venue, I'll put on a show. I'll always put on a show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if people want to see me in my bedroom just by myself, but I would for sure. I definitely go. Like right now, it's such a time where I feel like I'm enjoying being a fan of music more than anything. So I'm like, I want to go to a drive-in show and like be in my car, like sit on the top of my car and like jam out. Like that sounds so fun. There's nothing going on around me, but yeah, it's an interesting time to be a fan of music for sure.
Oh yeah, you got to be diehard because you're, you know, for people to kind of track and see like what their favorite artists are doing online. I mean, shows true fanism, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, do you find ways to like further engage with your fans as well? like with this time off? Or I mean, I understand you're busy, but is there any of that going on from your house as far as just kind of keeping up with your audience?
Yeah, it's nice to talk to people on social media, and just like keep in touch. I really love the relationship I have with my fans. I think it's all very warm and fuzzy. It makes me happy. Like it really has been kind of those moments that I have interacting with them, or like seeing fan edits that people make, which also is just surreal any time of the year. The fact that people put the time into like creating something for me is like beyond me that happens. Like people will make edits of me for me. So like seeing those, that's been like the real reprieve of this whole thing of like, wow, like, oh my God, people are so nice. Like that's so crazy that people are during this time putting in effort for me. Like, who am I to say that? Right? Like that's been probably just like such a insane thing to see.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't realize that until it happens to you, I bet.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I still my fans and I kind of joke because they'll like tweet me and be like, I still remember when you were like shocked that we wanted to say hi to you, which is like it's so true. And I don't think I'll ever get this out of my head when people like know who I am and like want to say hi. Like it's happened a handful of times where I'll just be walking and like someone on my team will be like, Taylor, like they're waving at you. Like, don't be rude. I'm like, no, they're definitely not waving at me, right? Like when someone's waving, you're like, no, like they're like waving at you. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, like
Yeah.
so I never ever believe that people want to say hi to me ever. So when people do, it's just like so crazy. So we laugh about that of like, I remember when we were outside your hotel and we wanted to say hi, you were so shocked. Because that's happened rarely, but when it happens, I'm like, oh my God, really? Me? Oh, thank you. What?
Yeah, no, I bet that's incredible. Especially like you being on the uprise, you know what I mean? You're just like, I don't expect anyone to come up to me and then boom.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
let's get more of that. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, like, right? Because I've been doing like my own meet and greets for years where I'll like after the set or after the show, I'll go out and just like stand. And I've had times where literally no one has come up to me, right? And that's the norm. Like I'm fine. I'm fine. I prefer when I get to talk to people because I like meeting people and engaging. But like I don't ever expect people to want to say hi to me. So when people and like on the opposite side, I've had meet and greets where I couldn't meet everybody in the time that I had, which is insane to me that like people will be like, Taylor, you need to leave. And I'll be like, but what? I want to say hi to everybody. Yeah, that's super surreal. Yeah. More moments like that is all I mean, honestly, if nothing ever happened with my music again, I would be very content with my experiences thus far, with just knowing people care, no matter how lame that sounds, right? Like, but yeah, just the fact that people care about you is wild.
Yeah, that is wild. Well, I hope that you come out with another banger or something like that. Another album, maybe the Space Case 2.
The Space Case era is over, but I would like to come up with a new. I would like to, yeah. And I want another album to tour off of. I think that would be sick.
Yeah. How long does it take you to put together an album, would you say? Or even like a small EP?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely depends. I think it's fairly easy to write a bunch of songs, but then picking the ones that work together and kind of feel right. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time. Also, I want to make sure that like now that I have all this time to write, I want to come up with like something that's very cohesive and very me. Kind of like a lot of artists, as soon as I release something, I automatically hate it. And then as soon as it's out in the world and I realize other people besides myself can hear it, I'm like, oh God, turn it off. I hate it.
You hate it. They love it.
Cross. But yeah, I would love to release something where like I put it out and I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is the one. But who knows? I think artists always are like very critical of whatever they do. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. These are just some random questions I'm asking because, aside from the live music, I'm completely infatuated with the making of the music process. So do you have any like quirky routines, any cuteness that goes on when you're in the studio making any kind of, whatever genre you're making? Because you're very versatile, I've noticed, and it's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I really kind of don't really stick to one genre. I kind of write whatever feels right with who I'm writing with. And who I'm writing with depends on how we write. Like for a lot of stuff that came out in my Gray EP, I wrote with this producer, Ollie, and we had this really great like vibe where he'd come in and usually like we'll talk about some reference songs. I'll be like, oh, I've been listening to like this song. I really like this vibe. And he'll start working on a beat and like I'll automatically just kind of like hum some melodies and like he'll shift what he's doing with like production to what I'm doing melodically, and then I'll shift what I'm doing melodically to what he's doing production wise. So it's kind of this like really awesome thing where it's like yeah,
it just gels, the dynamics there.
Things like that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about like quirky things, but I always write melody, lyric at the same time. It's really hard for me to do it separately, like to come up with a melody without a lyric. So I'll just sing random, like I record everything. I rarely write things down until it's like final. I just do voice memos. So I have about 2,000 unnamed voice memos right now. I've just like if I were to press one, it would just be me singing like random lyrics while kind of out of key while trying to match a melody to like the 2 chords I know on guitar. I think that's probably
where it's like to the stranger's ear, they'd be like, what the hell is this? But exactly like, no, I got this. Like,
yeah,
this is exactly the tone I'm looking for.
Yeah, no, someone could definitely blackmail me with those. And I would be like, no, don't release them. Like, please.
Yeah, don't lose your phone. People steal your ideas, right?
I don't think they'd be able to take ideas from it. They'd just be like, what is going on?
That's funny. So would you rather make like a smashing pop dance song or something more touching, moving, a slow love song or something other than that? Like what's your vibe usually?
Yeah, I'm like at the end of the day, I'm like such a sad girl vibes type of person. I always have been. My favorite songs that I've written are like the more emotional, melodic ones like Poison, Non-Goodbye, like that type of stuff. I really like those. But at the same time, it's really fun to have upbeat songs to tour with. Because as an opener, you want to like get people hyped up and you want to get people excited. And I think those are so fun live to just like kind of feed off that energy. So both. Like I would love to write just like a smashing, like upbeat pop hit, like all of the Dagny vibes in the world. And then at the same time, I want my like emotional cinematic song and like in a TV soundtrack when someone's dying.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That's such a goal.
Yeah. I mean, hey, maybe we might have to branch out and search for a contract like that as well. You know what I mean? Getting placement in a TV show or a movie or something like that.
That would be, that's honestly been one of like that's been one of my goals for the longest time. I'm like, I would die to see my song in like a soundtrack.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. Maybe in the next movie. What kind of movies do you like?
Ooh,
You said you've been sitting down watching a lot of TV, right? You got any shows you can recommend me? I'm looking for something to watch.
my friend is like an insane. She is insane and really smart when it comes to like film. So she turned me on to David Fincher movies, which I really like. He's the one that did Gone Girl. So I watched Gone Girl. I had never seen it until like last month. Love that movie. Oh my God. He also did, and then Christopher Nolan. I had never seen a Christopher Nolan movie, which I know is like sacrilege to most people. The Batman, Dark Knight Rises, but yeah, Prestige with Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, it's an awesome movie.
Yeah, that's probably one of my. I could not stop talking about it after. I was like, that, yeah. So those movies, like I really now am into like the psychological thriller movies that aren't scary. I don't like paranormal horror stuff. Like I won't be able to sleep.
I don't want it. I don't do it either.
Yeah, it's like you think after, where it's like you're up late because you're thinking about it. I love that stuff.
Yeah, you're probably thinking even more now. Now that you're getting ready to graduate with a psych degree. That's super awesome. I'm proud of you. Like that's a lot to handle as far as being a touring artist and being in school as well. Do you have a message for everyone at home, all your friends out there, just in maintaining sanity in these times right now? I know there's a lot going on as far as a pandemic and just a bunch of systemic issues,
Yeah, I mean, my piece of advice would be don't do whatever I'm doing because I don't know what I'm doing, right? Like I would love to come out here and be like, do that, like how influencers just are really good with their words and they just have like great, like it's okay not to be okay. I'm like, I'm the one that needs that messaging. Like I'm the one I want to give that messaging. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm playing like my little phone games and like rewatching Criminal Minds for the third time in my life. Like, I don't know. I guess like what I would say to people is like, oh my God, like literally you're fine. It's fine. Like if you're not fine, that's fine. Like no one's fine right now. Like no one's doing great right now, no matter how like chill they are on the top. Like, but like who would be? Like the world crumbling. We're in an election cycle that's the most I've been taking this class where like a bunch of Stanford experts talk about the election, politics experts, and like this is the most controversial election in the past 150 years. So that anyone alive has seen in their lifetime.
Yep.
Pretty wild. So yeah, I don't know. That's my message is same. Me too.
Keep it the same. Yeah.